Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Blue Book Records. So, if you're looking for a specific foreign jurisdiction, you need to go to Rule 20. But if you're looking for international materials, like a bilateral treaty or a multilateral treaty or International Court of Justice case, then you're in Rule 21 land. So Rule 21.1 gives the basic citation forms. So you'll see here treaties and other international agreements, international law cases from the ICJ, the European Court of Human Rights, International Criminal Court, international arbitrations, UN sources, like the UN Charter, resolutions. You'll see that a lot in law review articles. EU materials, WTO materials, panel decisions, appellate body decisions. So consult Rule 21.1 for kind of to get you started on getting an idea how to cite whatever source you have. So Rule 21.2, non-English language documents. We're going back to Rule 20.2 for those rules. If the jurisdiction is not evident from the context, indicate it parenthetically at the end, just like in Rule 20. So, diving into treaties and other international agreements, this is Rule 21.4. If the treaty is between two parties, you cite the name of the agreement, and we're in regular Times font, set off by a comma, and then the two parties of the agreement, the abbreviated names of the parties, and abbreviated according to the tables at the end, the date of signing, and then the source of the treaty. And the U.S. treaty source, you'll find it in the UST largely. If there's more than two parties, then we cite the name of the agreement, the subdivision or pin site, the date, and the U.S. treaty source or an international treaty source. So the name of the agreement. The first citation of a treaty should contain the full name. And the form of the agreement. So for example, agreement, convention, protocol, treaty, understanding, that sort of thing. And Blue Book says only use one form of the agreement. For the description, use the subject matter description that appears part of the agreement. And then for subsequent citations, if the name's very long, or it's commonly known by another name, cite the first citation in the long form with a bracketed here and after, and then use that for all the subsequent citations. So the part where you're citing an agreement between two parties, indicate both parties, and then going to the tables at the end, table 10, to figure out how to abbreviate those parties. And they should appear in alphabetical order. Date of signing, subdivisions. When you're only citing one part of the agreement, give the subdivision. So, for example, article so-and-so. Date of signing, give the exact date of signing. Now, treaty sources. So you can see this in table T4 for a list of international treaty sources. If the United States is a party, then you'll need to cite the UST, TIAS, or UNTS, and there are a couple more in 21.4.5. And you can see an example here. Now, for multilateral treaties, offer a parallel citation by an international organization, like the UNTS. So if the U.S. is not a party to the treaty, then you'll only cite the one source by the international organization. So international law cases, we're basically citing according to Rule 10, except for the modifications in Rule 21.5. So basically, the international law cases should include the name of the case number, the reporter, if there's any, the characterization of the decision, like if it's a judgment, or if it's not a final judgment, like a provisional measure, a pin site, and a parenthetical, including the date, and then the name of the court if it's not apparent by the citation. So the ICJ and the Permanent Court of International Justice if you have a citation, check out Rule 21.5.1, but we want the case name, the party's name, the characterization again of the decision, the volume and name of the publication, the page where the case starts, the pin site, and the date. This is just like Rule 10, basically. So be sure to give the party's name in a parenthetical, abbreviated according to T10. So if it's the ICJ, it'll be the country names that you'll need to abbreviate. So if that's the basic way to cite international law cases. But if you're looking for specific information on the European Union courts, European Court of Human Rights, the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights, the Inter-American Court of Human Rights, the International Tribunal for the Law of the Sea, International Criminal Court, and the specific and other similar tribunals, then you'll definitely want to check out Rule 21.5. You'll find specific information on those specific courts. International arbitrations. This is Rule 21.6. So basically, you'll cite analogous to Rule 21.5, which is our international law cases. Now, UN sources. Again, this is a long rule, but if you'll need verbatim and summary records, resolutions and decisions, UN reports, masthead documents, UN press releases, and memoranda, adjudicatory bodies established by the UN, for example, the International Criminal Tribunal for the former Yugoslavia and Rwanda, and sales publications, yearbooks and periodicals, regional organization documents, if you simply need to cite to the UN Charter. And the UN actually has internet materials as well. So this is in Rule 21.7. I won't go through each one, but my general rule is I just go straight to 21.5 or 21.7, and 9 times out of 10 I will find the answer to my citation question if it relates to international materials. Now, League of Nations, just go to 21.8, how to cite the League of Nations. EU, again, we have acts of the Council and Commission, legislative acts, other publications, European Parliament. Check out Rule 21.9. Again, if I know I have an EU document, I go straight to Rule 21.9. Council of Europe. A couple of citation examples in 21.10. WTO. This is another big one. WTO panel and appellate body material. GATT panel decisions, reports, how to cite the GATT. That is all in Rule 21.11. The IMF, look at 21.12. And then other intergovernmental organizations like the International Atomic Energy Agency, International Civil Aviation Organization. Check out Rule 21.13. NGOs, if you're citing to an NGO, do that analogously to UN materials, going back to 21.7. Yearbooks, UN yearbooks, cite it analogous to Rule, again, 21.7. But other international yearbooks, cite them as periodicals. Digests, this is Rule 21.16. Again, the rule on digests is you always want to go to the original source first before you cite a digest. But if you need to cite a digest, Rule 21.16 is where you'd look. Basically, you're providing the title, the year, the title of the digest, the chapter, subsection, and then pin cite. Short citation forms, you'll have to check for treaties and other international agreements. You can use both id and supra. You're basically using the name of the treaty followed by supra and the names. Remember, if you used a here and after in brackets, use that here and after designation in the supra. So short forms for international law cases and arbitrations. Go back to Rule 10, 10.9. So for UN and other intergovernmental organizations, you can use both id and supra. Again, with the here and after, if you use the here and after designation, use that. Yearbooks and digests, we can use id and supra as well. So I know this video was more like, if you have this document, then just look at the Blue Book. But there is just way too much material, international material, to go through each type of material. And what I do is, of course, I can't remember all the rules, but if I know I have international material, I'm just going straight to Rule 21. If it's UN material, 21. If it's a treaty, Rule 21. If it's an international law case, not a jurisdiction-specific foreign case, Rule 21. If it's an international arbitration, I go to 21. UN sources. If it's an EU, WTO, IMF, these intergovernmental organizations. And for international yearbooks, digests, I'm going to Rule 21. So that concludes Rule 21. We'll take a short break, and then I will do a short video quickly explaining the tables. Thanks, everybody.